child came and told me, Amma, in our school there is a birthday party. I think there's a birthday party the big way, I suppose nowadays. There's a birthday party, my friend's house, they take us to some 5-star restaurant. Some well-off parents can take. There's nothing wrong because everybody has their way of doing birthdays. There's nothing, I will comment on that, going to 5-star hotel is less or not good or nothing of that sort. That is their parents' wish. He went once, I think his classmate's birthday was there, and my child, Rohan, my son, went to birthday party, came and said, Amma, it was so good, and my birthday, I want to take. I said, no, Bill, you can't take. He said, why? I said, Rohan, please remember how much it will cost. Let us talk about it. Each child, let us take 1,000 rupees. You call about 50 people, your class. How much it costs? 50 into 1,000 is how much? 50,000 rupees. He said, Rohan, please remember. I told there was a person who used to come and drive our car. I said, he has 2 children. They are as bright as you are. Okay, their school fees are probably in those days of 10,000. If you give 20,000 to them, they can go to a better school, beta. For your birthday, I'm not denying you should not do, etc. I will buy samosa. Okay, I will buy samosa and rasna packet or nimbu sharbat, something. No, mango or drink was there. What is that? Maza, not maza. Fruity. Yeah. Fruity in those days. I'm talking about 25 years back. So I will spend for 50 children plus our driver's children, everyone, altogether this much money. More than that, I think you should not spend, because what you are doing is wrong according to me. Those 2 children will not go to school, whereas you spend 50,000. And he didn't like it. What I said, he didn't like it. He said, oh, you always give me hishob, that means you always give me plus minus, always a balance sheet. I said, think over it, I will give you 3 days time. And after 3 days, he came back and said, okay, I agree, but along with samosa, you should give us 1 gulab jamun or something. I said, fine. Okay, so I told, and in front of him, I gave 10,000 to our driver's children in front, through his hand. I said, Bill, from your account, there is a 50,000 rupees. Out of that, this is the way you have spent. This much money is left, and this you should give it to some good cause. When he was in our Cornell school, Ron's birthday came, and I was thinking he was abroad in those days, what he will do. I would have been unhappy. This is my subjective opinion. If he spends so much money on a birthday, which comes every year, why waste that kind of money? It is not something like fantastic thing. It is not like we are Mahatma Gandhi born on October 2nd. We are ordinary people. We are just ordinary people. Let us not think that we are too great. If somebody says, oh, what do you think of yourself? I said, I'm a very ordinary person. Very ordinary person, but the situation made me great. The situation made me great. I'm very ordinary than like anybody else. You should bring up this idea with your children's mind. Look, my child, you are ordinary. Just because your father has money or I have money, you are not extraordinary. Money comes due to various reasons. Okay? And money, what you have, has a cost. That I made it to my children in a very young age. And when he was in Cornell, he wrote to me, and I have that email even today. He said, every mother looks after her child, but I'm proud my mother looks after someone's children. He said, that's the best compliment I can say.
If I don't go to school, then I would be obeying my brother and my father. I would be washing clothes every day, and then I would marry, then I would be taking care of children, and my life would finish. Those people who stop us from getting education, they are afraid of educated and powerful women. There was a correspondent of BBC, and he asked my father, I want someone from Swat who can speak to me and who can tell me what's happening there. So I started blogging for BBC. I used to talk to him on phone every night. We all wanted education, but so many people were silent because they were afraid of Taliban, they were afraid of death. But the courage defeated that fear. That is why I spoke. I was not waiting for someone else. I did it by myself.
This was about 14 years ago, and I was working in the office. I worked very late, and we were in the middle of the Quaker Oats integration or the acquisition. And I got a call at about 9:30 in the night from the existing chairman and CEO at that time, and said to me that, Indra, we're going to announce you as president and put you on the board of directors of PepsiCo. I mean, I was overwhelmed because, look at my background, where I came from. To be president of an iconic American company and to be on the board of directors, I mean, I thought it was just something special had happened to me. So rather than stay and work till midnight, which I really would have done because I had so much work to do, I decided to go home and share the good news with my family. So I got home at about 10, parked the car, got into the garage, and my mother was waiting at the top of the stairs. And I said to her, Mom, I got great news for you. And she said, well, then let the news wait. Can you go out and get some milk? I said to Mom, look, I looked in the garage. Looks like my husband is home. What time did he get home? She said 8 o'clock. I said, why didn't you ask him to buy the milk? Because he's tired. Okay, he's tired. He's tired. We have a couple of help at home. Why didn't you ask them to get the milk? She said, because I forgot. I said, okay, fine. She said, just go get the milk. We need it for the morning. So I, like a dutiful daughter, I went out and got the milk and came back. I sort of banged it on the counter and I said, I had great news for you. I've just been told that I'm going to be president on the board of directors, and all that you want me to do is to go out and get the milk.
Shaped the course of your life as well as the success of it.
So my sister Maya Harris is the vice president of the Ford Foundation, and on her own could run a small country by herself. She's brilliant, and she and I have talked about it often. I think that part of the way we were raised by our mother, my mother used to say, one of the many things she would say is, you may be the first to do many things, but make sure you're not the last. And so we were raised with a great sense of responsibility in terms of personal responsibility, but also responsibility to others and to our community. And my mother very much defined success as not only what you accomplish, but what you accomplish for others. And so that's about service. And my sister and I both, I think, take that very, very seriously, which is using our work and our talent in service of others.
Well, recognizing that you have many years to go in your career, wherever it may take you, what do you consider to date your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, there's a lot of work that we've done recently that I'm very proud of. The work that we've done, for example, in connection with bringing relief to California homeowners in connection with the foreclosure crisis. There's a lot of work that I've done for many years on the issue of human trafficking and understanding that it's not only a human rights issue, but at its core, a law enforcement issue and a public safety issue. There's work that I've done always focused on children and the need to understand that they may be little people, but their issues are not little issues. And in fact, if we focus on issues that impact children, we will in a very smart and efficient way focus on what we otherwise characterize as big issues.
Well, it is a story of a woman whose perfectly imperfect life made her who and what she is today. It's the story of a woman who, in pursuit of her dreams and aspirations, made other people realize that if you think that your life is hard and you're giving up on that because you think your life is unfair, think again. Because when you think that way, you are being unfair to your own self. It's the story of a woman who made people realize that sometimes problems are not too big. We are too small because we cannot handle them. It is the story of a woman who with time realized the real happiness doesn't lie in success, money, fame. It lies within. Real happiness lies in gratitude. So I am here and I'm going to share the story of that woman. That is my story. The story of gratitude. love you too. I love you all. Many people speak before they think. But I know the value of words. The words can make you, break you, they can heal your soul, they can damage you forever. So I always try to use the positive words in my life wherever I go. They call it adversity, I call it opportunity. They call it weakness, I call it strength. They call me disabled, I call myself differently abled. They see my disability. They see my disability, I see my ability. There are some incidents that happen in your life, and those incidents are so strong that they change your DNA. Those incidents or accidents are so strong that they break you physically. They deform your body, but they transform your soul. Those incidents break you, deform you, but they mold you into the best version of you. And the same thing happened to me. And I'm going to share what exactly happened to me. I was 18 years old when I got married. And this thing I'm sharing for the very first time on an international level. I was 18 years old when I got married. I belonged to a very conservative family, a Baloch family, where good daughters never say no to their parents. My father wanted me to get married. And all I said was, if that makes you happy, I'll say yes. And of course, it was never a happy marriage. Just about after 2 years of getting married, about 9 years ago, I met a car accident. Somehow my husband fell asleep and the car fell in the ditch. To jump out, saved himself, I'm happy for him. But I stayed inside the car and I sustained a lot of injuries. The list is a bit long, don't get scared. I'm perfectly fine now. Radius ulna of my right arm were fractured. The wrist was fractured. Shoulder bone and collarbone were fractured. My whole rib cage got fractured. And because of the rib cage injury, lungs and liver were badly injured. I couldn't breathe. I lost urinary bowel control. That's why I have to wear the bag wherever I go. But that injury that changed me and my life completely as a person and my perception towards living my life was the spine injury. 3 vertebrae of my backbone were completely crushed and I got paralyzed for the rest of my life. So this accident took place in a far-flung area in the outskirts of a very small province, Balochistan, where there was no first aid, no hospital, no ambulance. I was in the middle of nowhere in that toppled car. Many people came to rescue. They gave me CPR. They dragged me out of the car. And while they were dragging me out, I got the complete transection of my spinal cord. And now there was this debate going on, should we keep it here? She's going to die, where should we go? There is no ambulance. There was this 4-wheeler Jeep standing in the corner of the street. They said, put her in the back of the Jeep and take her to the hospital, which is 3 hours away from this place. And I still remember that bumpy ride. I was all broken. They threw me at the back of the Jeep and they rushed me to the hospital. That is where I realized that my half body was fractured and half was paralyzed. I finally ended up in a hospital where I stayed for 2.5 months. I underwent multiple surgeries. Doctors have put a lot of titanium in my arm. There's a lot of titanium at my back to fix my back. That's why people in Pakistan call me the Iron Lady of Pakistan.